been working around this area now for probably the last 8 years. I've been doing youth work now for about 12 to 13 years, but predominantly within this part of the city, Hockley, Handsworth, Winson Green. I've been around here for about 8 years now, going on to 9. You know, I grew up around here. Norton Street, Hobson Close is where I was born and bred. And I think growing up, seeing all of the things that I've seen and the experiences that I had as a child kind of made me who I am kind of now. You know, the support that I had, family, friends, associates. It kind of gives me that kind of, what would you say, the staunchness about me. You know, it's made me what I am today. I don't have a problem with people, but I live in a certain area. You don't know what the problem is, but you live here. But you probably got problems with certain people, and nobody seems to know the root of the problem. Don't you think that sounds a little bit mad?
It's people who you hang around with. Like, say if I see you with some people that I don't like.
Yeah.
If I see you and you're wrong, so I come to you because you know with them people.
So would you classify the people that you rolled with as a gang?
Nah.
So what do you see it as? Because a lot of people think it's gangs. They say, oh, he's like all in gangs. No. So what do you like call it then?
It's not gang. There's people from the same area. I just grew up together, right? So that's what other people stereotype it as. It's not just man that grew up the same.
I agree.
That's
but
just neutral for yours.
But do you think that when you say that you're a group of friends, you come from a certain area, you throw up a particular area sign, you associate with one particular area, so I know you think that people from the outside are going to look at you as gangs?
Yeah.
So then that don't make no sense then? So on one hand you're saying that you're not a gang, you're just friends, but then a lot of people in this area do things that make people think they're a gang. So are you a gang or are you not a gang?
I'm not a gang. Know what then? I don't know. It depends.
On what? Now, try and get me to understand so I know what you're talking about. What does it depend on? When people say that you man are a gang or the youths that you roll with are a gang, are you a gang or are you not a gang?
So some people class us as a gang. We're not gangs. It's virtually from the same area. So man just say that we can. Or just man that grew up and young.
Because a lot of people watch TV and they say all these areas are violent. But I've lived around here most of my life. And yeah, there's a little 1 and 2 going on, but it's not as violent as we think. Is that the case? Or is it just I'm an older man now and...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like, you're just an older man now, so like, yeah, it won't be around the kids in it. In the area.
So like when you're talking about it's violent.
It's not violent, but at the same time stuff happens.
Like what kind of stuff happens? You don't have to go into detail exactly what, but what kind of things happen?
Like stabbings and all that, isn't it? Like stuff like that.
Do you feel
fighting?
So stabbing, fighting, what else?
A lot of stuff. Shootings, everything.
Do your age group, do you like feel safe living around here?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
It's my neighbourhood.
You're saying that there's shootings and stabbings and all those things going on, so surely.
Now, sometimes I don't feel safe, but
yeah, why don't you feel safe?
Because it happened to me.
012, that was straight a mad thing. Couple shootings, couple shanking. Couple man's yard that we rented. Couple man we robbed for the grand quick. Couple man fell off this bang bang gang thing.
So what's prison like then?
Yo, it's Niners prison shit. Fucking full of full of dudes, yeah, acting like fucking little kids. It's not the place to be though, man. Man missing man's freedom right now. Some joke thing.
What's your day like what's a day like in prison?
Yo, shit, man.
What time do you get up?
Like 8 o'clock. Out your pad for like 45 minutes. In that space of time, jumping in the shower. Then bang up. Back out for lunch like 12 for like 40 minutes again. Bang up again till 4:30. Come back out for dinner. An hour, play some pool and that. Then bang up the rest of the day till the next day. See?
So like in terms of like is prison violent?
Yo, it's not even violent still, but if you want it to be, it can be.
Well, I think one of the things that I did was when I went to university and got my first degree, I said that I wanted to use that degree and bring that back to my community. And I think a lot of people don't really understand that you see you're probably concentrating or working in one particular area, they think, oh, you only want to work with them, man, but this is where I was born and this is where I was bred, and I always felt that the knowledge that I've learned, I want to give it back to my community. So yes, I work anywhere, work around the country, I work different parts of Europe, but I wanted to give back to Hockley, I wanted to give back to Winson Green, I wanted to give back to Handsworth, because this is where I'm from. So then when I started working for the youth service, you know, I managed Oakland's Youth Centre. I was working at Oakland's Youth Centre for a period of time, and then I kind of started working at other centres. And, you know, I kind of was grounded in terms of my understanding of what was going on. I had the opportunity to look at it from the outside. And then when I done my degree, my master's degree in criminology, for me that kind of really set in stone my vision of the future of educating specific type of young people that live within our communities, young people that unfortunately have made bad choices, young people that are vulnerable to youth and gang violence, victims of violence, working with parents, a lot of parents that are in our community, they're struggling with their kids, they've lost hope, they don't know what to do. A lot of children that live in our community have fathers but are not present. Some kids in our community have fathers that live inside of their household but emotionally and psychologically are not present. So what is your view then on the roads then? Do you feel that, obviously we've done a Don't Get Gassed documentary 2010, 2011. It's 2015 going into 2016. Do you feel that the violence, the madness that we hear about, or we used to hear about 4 or 5 years ago in terms of knife crime, gun crime, do you feel like it's getting worse in this area?
Yeah, it's gone worse. Definitely gone worse. Like back then, I was younger, so I didn't really used to hear nothing about nothing, so I used to think everything's just nice, but now it's just mad. Yeah, everyone getting shanked up now, shot, everything.
What do you feel like? It's more stabbings, more shootings, or both?
Both. But it's mostly the younger that get shanked, like man like my age that get shanked.
And how old are you?
16.
And again, when we were doing the Don't Get Gassed thing the last time, and we were doing, you know, similar kind of interviews with people the last time, I guess they kind of felt that, you know, they were kind of seen as elders and they were involved in certain things, and there was no kind of support from the elders, there was no support from people in the community to kind of guide people away. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you feel that there's any kind of support in the area to kind of support some of you lot?
No, nothing going on in the area apart from youth club, but no one really wants to be there all the time. It's dead sometimes.
So do you feel like youth workers can help with the madness?
Some of them can, like some of them that can relate, like some that's been through the lifestyle that man have been through, they can relate. God, they've been there and come out, so they probably can help. Or if they've been around man that have done rare tear, but still like not doing what they're doing, so they can help.
So what's a day like in the hood from your perspective? 16 years old, Hockley, Winson Green, Handsworth, Ladywood, northwest part of the city. What is life like for a 16-year-old these days?
In the daytime, it's calm, but once it gets dark, you have to move diligent. You can't really go certain places when it's dark, man. You don't know what's gonna happen. Why?
Why do man have to move diligent? Why? Is there a fear of something's gonna happen, or?
Yeah, you have to move diligent. Something might happen. I end up getting shanked or something, or jumping out of cars, and you know.
And you say this is people from the own area or people from different areas?
Different areas.
So really, it's not safe then, really, for young people. Many youths are on the road or doing whatever you're doing. Do you ever think about the impact that you guys have on your mum or your dad?
Yeah.
If anything was to happen?
Yeah.
Like, what comes into your head? Is it normally happen after, or does it happen before or at the time? When?
After.
What are the kind of things that come into your head?
Or like, what you gonna do if, like, say, if I do something now, if I go jail, yeah, what she gonna do? Like, she probably gonna cry.
And how old are you now?
14.
For me, that's kind of scary still. Cause when we were growing up, I don't remember, man, at 14, we were playing tracking and ramping around these ways. You get me? I don't recall certain things happening. But you're saying that you're 14 and these things are going on. It's kind of scary, but it kind of seems like, is that what it is?
It's not like, yeah, just around here. It's in the neighborhood. I was in the neighborhood. Yeah.
So like in terms of like obviously the crime that you're in for, you don't have to explain the crime that you're in for, but what kind of like goes through your mind?
I ain't even gonna lie, like, bam, if man could go back and change 1 and 2, yo, it's just peak or what I'm in for now. I'm kinda just stuck right now. Like, it's raw deep. I raw would change shit because right now, yeah, not what I was doing and what's ending me up in here. It can't bring the time back what I'm doing in there now, you know, one of them ones.
So my role is really to kind of bridge that gap. My role is to support other people in the community in terms of building their skills, building their knowledge to be able to do the stuff that I do. And this is for me is the real youth work. Being out in the streets, engaging with the youths, engaging with the man them, the parents, and having an understanding of what's going on and things that I can put in place in order to solve problems. I don't profess that I'm the only man that's doing it. There's loads of people in the community that are doing brilliant work. And I understand that there's not one solution to the problem. There's not one strategy to the problem. We're a village. But I also understand that it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to kill a child. And if children are not a part of that village, they'll burn it down. So part of my work, again, is to bridge that gap. And you get into altercation, the possibilities you're going to use it. But then at the same time, people don't want to be taken for a dickhead, so it's kind of hard. So in relation to like your parents and that, because I work with a lot of your parents, I work with a lot of parents around these areas, and a lot of parents say that their children are selfish because they never think about them when they're out there doing what they're doing. So what would you kind of say to some of those things?
Truthful. Most men think about their children more than their mom. You know why?
And I think that's kind of, for me, that's kind of hard to hear that, because when most men get locked, when most men end up in prison, it's your mum that does the miles in terms of coming to see you. It's your mum that's the one that's going to give you the money. It's your mum that's going to be at home crying and upset. How old are you? He's 14, and how old are you?
17.
17. So as I was just saying right in the car, is that obviously it seems like a lot of 14-year-olds around here and in other areas are kind of active, innit?
Yeah.
And obviously, I said that when we were growing up, I don't remember us at 14 years old doing certain things. I remember tracking and hide and seek and doctors with the girls and all the mad stupid things that we used to do. But 14 years old, and man are talking about witnessing or being involved or whatever, and there's fighting and there's people getting shot and there's people getting stabbed. Would you say that you feel safe right here?
That depends. All depends.
My bad. Depends on what?
Like, it all just depends on it because like situations happen. So
Yeah.
obviously, then people start coming around, and obviously,
You have to talk up, you know.
obviously like situations start happening. Obviously, then people ain't caring who they want to get. Like, just gonna get anyone to see in the area. And
Do you think about your parents when obviously you're outside and things happen?
yeah, parents gonna be worrying about you and not want to know that these type of stuff are going on and their kids are outside and that.
Do you think that it's getting worse around here, or is it getting better?
I'd say it's getting worse, you know.
What about you?
Don't know. Probably say worse.
Like, all right then,
Nah.
you're 14 now.
It depends.
It depends on what.
Why it's like. Say stabbings. I say it's worse.
Why?
It's like a lot of people just have their knives and people just stabbing their people. Anyone you see.
Use this. Donkey. So I'm saying that's the same way how my man flew off his bike, you know, them mad things there is long. Where's this Jamal you live?
You guys know?
Yeah. Young people. Because one of the things that I notice around this area, this is where I kind of grew up. Every day people playing outside, football, tracking, all them games. You don't really see young people walking around nowadays.
That's dead now. No one does that now. No one, that's dead.
You think that's because people kind of in fear of something that's going to happen?
Nah, it's probably because they just, like, youngers, they just want to do what they see the olders doing. So you don't see olders running around playing tracking and that, you know, so they're not going to want to do that.
It's funny because I had that conversation with some younger people earlier on today, and they were saying that it's a choice, that they don't have to follow older people. They choose whether they want to follow people or not. And I kind of said, well, one of the things that I notice is not for you see older man, see them with money, jewels, whatever it is, and I kind of inspired by that. And some youths don't feel strong enough to say that they don't want to be a part of it or they don't want to be involved. So what do you say to that? You think it's easy? You think it's hard for youths to say, nah, they don't want to be involved?
Is it hard to say nah? It's easy to say nah, but it's hard to go through with it. Hard to stick to your word in a way. Because of the people that you're surrounded by, innit?
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I don't know, bro. Don't have a clue. Don't know where I'm going to be.
Where would you like to be?
Alive.
And do you feel that every single day it's that struggle of trying to stay alive?
Yeah, basically.
Do you think about your parents? When you're out on the road, do you feel that they understand? The parents understand the fear that their children are going out in the community and there's that possibility of them not coming back home?
Mine does. Yeah, my mom does though.
Can't bring back the time what I'm doing in here now, so it's deep like that.
So imagine then, before you obviously went in, you done a couple talks, you spoke to a couple youths, you're doing a little positive thing, and then some people will be like, wow, why did you go back into certain things?
Yeah, I hear that still, but yo, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to money, yeah, it's sometimes, yeah, it's just quick money is just there, you know, one of them ones, so you just chase it. But that's what I'm saying. When you're chasing it, you're not realizing the consequence until bam, it hits you. Then now, man, I'm here stuck in the can, but obviously, sometimes you just have to kick back and just wait, and it's not always that fast money what's good for, man.
Do you think about your mum and your little brother?
Of course, bro. I miss them like mad. That's the main thing. I tell man straight. That's the main thing what I care about right now. My mum, my brother, and my little sister. Basically, my family, one of them ones. It's affected them more than it's affected me. That's why it's mad. I'm nice, chilling. Obviously, I'm hearing it. I'm not stressing. I'm nice, but yo, it's them thinking, oh, their big brother, their son, and that's the only reason why I'd be pissed, cause it's them that's be pissed out there, man. Affects them more than you know, man.
And then in terms of like, you know, a lot of youths think that obviously prison's one of them things that you can just go, jump in, and everything's all right. And all the man them are going to be supporting them and whatnot. So in terms of support,
you're mad. Go on.
Who hollers at you? Are you supported by your friends?
You're listening. That's the main thing. Right now, no one will holler, man, when you hit the can. Unless you holler them, then no one ain't hollering you, and no one ain't picking up no pen. No one ain't going to check your peoples, unless it's 1 and 2, man. But yo, deep in it. Not gonna lie, gal will holler you though. It's like, yo, love a man that's in the can, but yo, when it comes to the man that you thought will ride for you and be checking you and keeping you nice while you're in here, it's definitely not that. It's definitely not that.
And you think there's support outside when you come back to the community? Why do you think it's don't happen enough with like man that are obviously unrolled, man that are involved in certain things? Do you think there's enough support?
Nah, definitely not, man. Just get thrown back out there in the system, and then it's just that, and just waiting to get caught again. There ain't enough support out there.
So what do you say to all of the workers out there then, car? The other day, there's been loads of things going on in the area in regards to like violence and that. And there was a few parents, your mum was there, a few other parents were there, and it was kind of like they felt that there wasn't enough workers in the community to kind of work with, man. So what's your thoughts about that?
Basically, just call man and gone jail. Don't mean nothing in it. Man needs second chances, and obviously it's better, not good that man have been jail, but it's better for someone like us to work with people in the community. Man have been through this, you know, one of them ones. Don't just be employing anyone. Us kind of geezers need them chances when man get out there. That's what man need.
Any final words?
Yo, freedom, man them. 9ers, 2015, 2016. I don't know when I'm coming home, but yo, soon be back in it. It's done now. Big up Craig, innit?
I guess myself and others are trying to challenge. Ultimately, it's a mindset. The mindset is, for these youth, is that they live in an environment where they think that the behaviours that they're seeing is quite normal. And the behaviour is not normal. I don't know nobody, but I work with a lot of other kids that are not involved in any form of crime or any form of madness. And they don't talk about seeing stabbings or the fear of being stabbed. They don't talk about being shot at or feeling that they need to use firearms in order to deal with a problem. So the problem is for me is one that I guess is scary as a father, you know, and as I'm getting a bit older, I realise as well that my effectiveness of being able to work with these kids as I get older is going to be less and less and less more impactful. So the work continues. The work doesn't stop. Even though we might hear of shootings, even though we might hear of stabbings, even though we feel sometimes that the work unfortunately is not having any impact, we got to still keep going. We come from a long history of rebels and fighters to kind of just give up. And all of the people that supported myself and others when I was growing up, they never just gave up on us. So I can't see myself giving up on young people. So if that means I don't know, changing the way that we work, find a new strategy. We have to find that strategy to make it work, because ultimately these kids, they need our help, they need our support. And rather than be those people that sit there talking about how they are, what they are and what they're not, let's do something about it. So I hope that this little snippet today kind of give you an idea of the life and the road and the work that we do here in the community. I hope that this little snippet today give you a insight into my world, into the world of many youth workers that are on the front line trying to save the minds of our young people, because ultimately that's what we're fighting.